It is your decisions and not your conditions that determine your destiny. Namaskar. Welcome to Daily PT Pointers. And in this video, we are going to cover major headlines of the Hindu, Indian Express, and Press Information Bureau. So, without wasting any time, let's start today's discussion. And our first important headline is related to Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill, जो कि recently राज्य सभा के द्वारा पास कर दिया गया है. ये बिल स्टैब्लिश करता है National Capital Civil Services Authority, which consists of the Chief Minister, Chief Secretary of Delhi, and Principal Home Secretary of Delhi. It will make recommendations to the Lieutenant Governor regarding transfers and posting of officials and disciplinary matters. The bill empowers LG to exercise his sole discretion on several matters, including those recommended by National Capital Civil Services Authority and summoning, prorogation, and dissolution of Delhi Legislative Assembly. Our next headline is related to Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2023, जो कि recently Indian Parliament के द्वारा पास कर दिया गया है. The bill aims to attract private sector investment in exploring critical and deep-seated minerals in the country. The bill amends the Mines and Minerals Development Regulation Act 1957. The bill puts 6 minerals, including lithium, into a list of critical and strategic minerals, and exploration and mining of these minerals, previously classified as atomic minerals, and were restricted to government-owned entities. The bill also specifies the maximum area for exploration and activities up to 1000 square kilometer will be allowed under a single exploration license. Now, why the bill is needed? So friends, India's dependency on imports for critical and deep-sea minerals has been a concern, leading to supply chain vulnerabilities and import dependencies from countries like China, Russia, and Australia. And lack of private sector participation in mineral exploration has hindered India's ability to discover and develop economically viable reserves. And अभी recently लोकसभा ने पास किया है अनुसंधान National Research Foundation Bill, which proposes to establish National Research Foundation, and it aims to direct research in strategic areas ranging from science to humanities. It plans to involve the private sector, which currently contributes around 36% to research and development expenditure, in a bigger way. Our next headline is related to Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, जो कि recently लोकसभा के द्वारा पास कर दिया गया है, and it is passed nearly 6 years after the Supreme Court held privacy a fundamental right under the Indian Constitution. The recent bill sets out requirements for firms collecting data online, with exceptions for the government and law enforcement agencies. It also amends Right to Information Act 2005 to remove public interest exemptions on disclosing personal information. RTI Act currently allows public authorities to disclose personal information such as official salaries when it is in public interest. The bill aims to provide for the processing of digital personal data in a manner that recognizes both the right of individuals to protect their personal data and need to process such personal data for lawful purposes. Companies and institutions can be penalized for non-compliance and for failing to take reasonable measures to prevent data breaches. The bill proposes fines ranging from 50 crore to 250 crore for companies that fail to protect user data or default on disclosure requirements. The bill also lays the groundwork for establishment of Data Protection Board of India, and appointment of members will be made by the government through notification. Our next headline is related to Exercise Malabar, and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि 31st edition of the Malabar Multilateral Exercise will be held from 11th August. Malabar exercise began as bilateral exercise between India and US in 1992, and it became multilateral with addition of Australia and Japan. Now it has significantly grown in scope and complexity. Our next headline is related to Havana Syndrome. एंड ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि रिसेंटली सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने कर्नाटका हाई कोर्ट को कहा है कि इट विल लुक इनटू द मैटर ऑफ हवाना सिंड्रोम इन इंडिया in response to Bengaluru's residents' recent petition. Now let's know more about Havana Syndrome. So friends, it is a name given to a set of symptoms such as dizziness, hearing loss, headaches, vertigo, memory loss, and possible brain injuries. It was first reported by US Embassy staff and their family members in Havana in 2016-17. It does not mean a unique medical condition, but rather a set of symptoms that are usually experienced together whose origins may be difficult to confirm. Our next headline is related to Northeast Venture Fund, which is the first and only dedicated venture fund for Northeastern region. ये launch किया गया था Ministry of Development of Northeastern region and it is intended to promote growth of business ventures and skill development in the region. It targets to invest in startups and unique business opportunities to provide resources for new entrepreneurships. ये registered है as Category 1 Venture Capital Fund under SEBI Alternative Investment Fund Regulations 2012 and its operation is also monitored by Reserve Bank of India and Controller and Auditor General of India in the form of periodic audit. The main focus of the fund is mostly for enterprise involved in food processing, healthcare, tourism, segregation of services, IT and etc. Now recently National E-Governance Division under its capacity building scheme organized 39th CISO deep diving training program. ये लॉन्च हुआ था 2018 में and it is the first of its kind of partnership between the government and industry consortium under public-private partnership model. It is aimed to spread awareness, build capacity as well as enable government departments on steps that need to be taken to create cyber resilient ecosystem. Our next headline is related to PM SVANidhi scheme जो कि लॉन्च की गई थी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन अफेयर्स के द्वारा इन 2020 with the aim to facilitate collateral-free working capital loan to street vendors to restart their businesses which were adversely impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. The scheme facilitate collateral-free working capital loan up to 10,000 of 1 year tenure with enhanced loan of 20,000 and 50,000 in second and third tranches on repayments of earlier loans. It incentivizes regular repayment through interest subsidy at 7% per annum and it also provides reward digital transactions by way of cashback up to 1200 per year. Our next headline is related to Meri Life Mera Swachh Shehar campaign जो कि लॉन्च किया गया था मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन अफेयर्स के द्वारा इन कोलैबोरेशन विद मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज इन May 2023 for period of 3 weeks till Environment Day 2023 on 5th June 2023. It focused on empowering urban local bodies to set up, reduce, reuse, recycle centers as one-stop solution for citizens, institutions, commercial enterprises, etc. to deposit unused or used plastic items, clothes, footwear, books and toys. And do you know friends, this campaign is not a scheme. It is a public outreach and mass engagement campaign which is being implemented by urban local bodies under Swachh Bharat Mission Urban 2.0 and no separate organizations have been formed by the government of India for this campaign. Our next and last headline is related to GSAT-24 which is a collaboration between New Space India Limited and Tata Play and it was launched in June 2022. It is a 4-ton class communication satellite which is built by ISRO for providing DTH services. It is fully operational at its maximum satellite capacity following exhaustive in-orbit testing. And do you know friends, New Space India Limited incorporated in March 2019. It is a central public sector enterprise under Department of Space and it is the commercial arm of Department of Space. So with this, let's conclude our today's discussion. Thanks for listening, and for regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.